Right, you ready to let loose?
I can't believe I'm saying it, but I own a Mansouri Veyron.
Just how fucked was this when you bought it?
Oh God, it was so bad. There's times when I thought this car's gonna break me. We were looking for a gearbox, but one guy said he'd got a second-hand gearbox. Did a deal, sent him a deposit. There was no gearbox.
What are you all in on the spend then?
Cost me.
No way. I didn't know that.
Mark. And what do people misunderstand about Bugattis that now you understand?
In 12 minutes, it runs out of fuel, but in 15 minutes, the tyres would explode from the heat anyway.
How helpful were Bugatti?
That's the response I have.
That separates the men from the boys. There's no brand in the world like Bugatti. It's creme de la creme.
Been lucky enough to be in some amazing cars. Nothing like this.
And the engineering in that car changed the world.
What's your next project? What shocked you the most repairing this Bugatti Veyron?
The amount of help.
That you did or didn't get?
Did.
Oh,
The people who didn't help were a very small part of the procedure.
like Bugatti.
The people who did help is most of the world.
Oh, wow.
Literally everyone you can ever imagine who worked on it, had any involvement in it, have just all said, I'm here to help you.
So I'd love to talk about how much it costs, but not quite yet. How helpful were Bugatti?
If I go silent for 5 minutes, that's the response I had. Not even,
Couldn't even take your phone calls, you told me.
not even like really we can't help you. It was frustrating. It was frustrating because I don't really know why, and I'd love to know why. I don't know, I just don't understand why a conversation couldn't have been had.
What do you think? What's your guess as to why they wouldn't even talk to you?
I'm guessing YouTube.
What, that you might expose them, you mean?
No, I feel like obviously there's been a lot of YouTube around Bugattis and sort of pricing and negativity on that side. And I don't think they're interested in them being on the internet with a YouTube series. You know, I think the people who are buying these cars are going to buy them. They've got an amazing, obviously, black book of people who are going to buy the car. So I just don't think, you know, like a YouTuber for some brands is, you know, worth its weight in gold. You know, you can push somebody's business, you can, you know, elevate their sales, their brand awareness. But I don't think Bugatti need Mark from Redditch with a Veyron to alter their share price.
You see, the thing is, to get this very clear, this car, this is not a smashed, damaged, repaired car. It hasn't got the incorrect engine. It hasn't got the incorrect anything. It's basically, you bought a Bugatti Veyron that had a slight gearbox issue, which you had two options with a gearbox issue. Well, Bugatti give you one option, is to replace. That's the only ever issue the only resolvement to an issue they ever gave me was, okay, that needs replacing. But we know in today's world, these cars are out of warranty now. They're older cars. You can repair parts. You don't have to replace every part for a new part, because otherwise you'd rebuild a new car. So you've got a car that's got absolutely what we call no red flags against it. Your gearbox wasn't working, so you went to Bugatti to say, how do I get my gearbox to work? What can you do to help me? And they just turned their back on you completely.
Didn't answer the phone. Sort of like it makes no sense, because at that stage, I wasn't asking for parts. You know, I was asking them to fix my car. I'm asking, how much is it to fit me a new gearbox? Because at the time, that was my only option.
And you was willing to buy a new gearbox?
I was willing to buy a new gearbox, you know.
How much is a new big gearbox?
We think about £300,000. But, you know...
And you were prepared to...
Yeah, because I'd paid for the car with that wiggle room. You know, I bought that car knowing that I've got room for that, but I hope there's not many other things. And then I was going to be good out the deal, I needed to spend that money on the gearbox and everything else to be okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it wasn't like I said, I just want 4 gears and 1 clutch plate. You know, I wanted them to fix my car. And that, like Carl said, you know, I paid the price for this car, a proper Bugatti. It's not like there was anything wrong with it, you know, with the back end to be blacklisted. The car's one of their amazing cars. And for them to sort of like have no interest in it whatsoever, whether we'll ever find out. But I'm guessing it's YouTube, you know, freedom of speech, you know, and it is a platform where you can say what you want. On our channel, we only say what's truthful. And so, you know, they've got nothing to hide from us. Yeah, we're going to say that costs that much, but it does cost that much. And I think with these as well, when we did the series on the P1, when we went to have the brakes, we were talking about brake discs, and they said to us it's £60,000 for some brakes. But it's a £1.5 million hypercar. The brakes shouldn't be £3,000. You know, they should be the best brakes in the world, the most expensive brakes, the brakes which work the most. So the parts on this should be expensive because it's what it is.
But they're not.
They are from Bugatti.
Well, yes, they are from Bugatti, because it's like saying you're going to have a fillet steak in you know, the Harvester, or you're going to have one in a Michelin star restaurant, a fillet steak to fillet steak. Well, it's not. You're paying for the privilege to be where you are and to have the experience of where you're buying these parts and the service that you're going to get. It's all about the service. The service.
I don't know. I
that they
mean,
give you.
the meat quality is going to be a bit different in a Harvester versus.
Yeah, but you know.
Free salad bar.
But the point is, you know, a part's a part. And if it's the correct part for that car and they supply the part, I can't get my head around why they didn't, because they could have earned money.
Well, let me ask you why you think they didn't.
Me and Mark have had this conversation off camera loads of times talking about this car. We had endless conversations about this car throughout the whole process.
So why do you think Bugatti ghosted Mark?
I have no idea. I know Bugatti or any other reputable brand won't touch certain cars because of the history in the past that certain cars have had. For instance, Lamborghini are a nightmare. Not the brand, but the people who have owned them. There's a lot of mileage manipulated Lamborghini Uruses, Huracans. It was a big car, it was a big model that was rented through rent-a-car companies. Everyone wanted a Urus for the weekend. They do 150,000 miles, but they were still making very close to what they cost. So someone could hire a Urus out and have 10,000 miles in a year and get their money back and have the revenue off of renting it out. But as soon as you plug that car in, it comes up exactly where the car's been, what it's done. And that's why every Lamborghini that I buy, before I pay for it, it goes to Lamborghini for that reason. Now, this is what I'm saying at the beginning of this interview. There's nothing wrong with that car. There's been no past history of anybody messing around with the car. The car's been totally... I mean, it's got Bugatti service history.
Lots.
Yeah, it's got lots of Bugatti service history. I don't understand. I don't know why they didn't say... all right, here's an opportunity for us to earn some money.
Yeah.
And I wonder if there's anyone else out there that's got... because, you know, these cars, they're at the age now, they're 20 years old. There's going to be people... you're not the only person in the world that's going to have a gearbox issue on their Veyron. So let Mark put it on YouTube. Let him tell everybody how much it's cost him so everybody knows. So when they have a problem with their car, they can come to us and we can fix it. Or we can replace it, and that's how much it costs, and that's the service. Oh, they've done me a great service. Within 2 weeks, it was here. They've split the car in half. Look at what detail they have to go through to change the gearbox. You know, you're actually promoting the brand.
Which we did with the P1 and McLaren.
Well, you made me shit myself a little bit with the P1 and the McLaren, because when he bought the car, with the whole palaver in Harrods and then getting out of Harrods and everything, now Mark's paid for the car. He owns the car. It's his car. It's not my car anymore. And it's, you know, classic car, sold as seen, you know.
Oh, when we did all the reports.
Yeah. So he's like...
he didn't sleep for 2 weeks.
So it's got great all McLaren service history. It's got great service history. But he's like, oh yeah, I'm sending it to McLaren. They're going to do a full health check. They're going to inspect the brakes, the hybrid battery, this. And I'm like, Mark, you can't be coming back to me in 2 weeks, you know, telling me that they've said, you know, the brakes... the left disc is slightly worn. You know, it's a 15-year-old car, you know, or 10-year-old car. But no, it passed with flying colours,
perfect,
didn't it?
yeah,
It was perfect. But I knew that before I bought it anyway. But you still, you have a little bit of a wonder where you're like, I hope everything's okay with that car.
Or maybe Bugatti feel the same then. Maybe Bugatti feel there's a risk of being exposed.
How exposed in what way?
Well, if what's produced as content from people like Mark and Matt doesn't reflect well on the brand.
I don't think Mark has been negative towards Bugatti at all, apart from the fact that they didn't help him fix his car, or he couldn't go and buy any parts for his car. I understand why Bugatti are not supplying Matt with parts. Matt Armstrong, yeah. Because he's wanting to buy the parts and fit it himself. Mark isn't wanting to do that.
I can't do that.
No, exactly. Mark's wanting to send the car into Bugatti, as I would send the car into Bugatti, and go, guys, gearbox not working, have a look. And they go and have a look and go, oh, you need a new gearbox. Well, I know to fit a new gearbox, you need to split the car in half. The money of 300,000 doesn't come from the part. The part's expensive, but it's nowhere near that expensive. It's the labour.
What do you think the split is on a 300 grand gearbox, labour versus part?
I would say the gearbox is less than 100,000 euros. The actual part. And I would say the rest is labour. Would you agree?
Yeah. Obviously, a labour, I don't know what it is, but I'd
£7 million an hour.
I'd imagine it's pretty tasty. Yeah. That's for certain. But yeah, we never got that far.
No. So, he's not going to expose, or he's not going to say anything derogatory about Bugatti. Worst comes to worst, and they say, right, it's 300 grand for a gearbox. And he says, well, do you mind if I document it? Do you mind if I bring my film crew in, we'll show the inner workings of the car, show how special this car is, split in half? How many cars do you have to split in half to access the gearbox? I think that's a good thing for the brand. That does separate Lamborghini, Ferrari, Pagani. That separates the men from the boys. There's no brand in the world like Bugatti. I mean, it's creme de la creme.
But is that why they're not communicating with people like Mark? Because they want this elevated brand position.
All right, steady on.
Yeah, I was going to say Mark's a Bugatti owner. He's part of the Bugatti family. He's a Bugatti
owner.
Jesus, sorry about this, Mark.
I want to get to the bottom of this. I'm just doing my job. Well, you've said he's an owner, he's a part of the family, but he's not, is he? He's he's 16th cousin.
He's the black sheep of the family.
He's like the bastard son.
I haven't got the yacht and the helicopter, have I?
Speaking of cars and money, our sponsors Refund Club are here to try and make you some more cash. The FCA recently confirmed about 14 million people were missold UK car finance, and around £8.2 billion is owed back to members of the British public, and you could be one of them. Now, you could do this yourself. You can track down every agreement, contact each lender, and manage everything yourself. But why not save your time? Because Refund Club are offering a free 60-second check. Simply click the link in the description below, or scan the QR code on the screen now and enter your name, date of birth, and your address. This will tell you the full breakdown of your records and how much you could be owed. So if you've taken out any car finance between 2007 and 2021, it's well worth running the check. You could be owed thousands of pounds for the sake of literally 60 seconds of your time. Scan the QR code on the screen now, or click the link in the description to run the free check.
Do you think I know you're not affiliated, but your relationship with Matt Armstrong had a part to play in that?
Like, when you think, with how strong-minded Alex is and his, the wind-ups that they were playing, maybe. I can't blame Matt or Alex. I don't know.
No, but from their point of view, they're thinking, is this going to be another Alex?
I think maybe, we're all tarred with the same brush. But like I say, I just don't think... They definitely don't need us. But for me, like what you say, I think they missed a massive trick here because, I love this car, obviously, and everything it means to me, and I've only got good things to say about this car. But we've proven now that forcefully, because we've been forced to, we've proved that you don't have to go to Bugatti. So, when some of the problems we've seen on this car, people have had no choice but to drop it off at Manchester, at London, whatever city around the world, and said, that's broke, can you sort it out? And they'd have gone, yep, no problem, it's tens of thousands of pounds. Well, now we didn't have that opportunity, so we had to go down a different route. And we've now shown that all those parts are fixable and all those parts can be cross-referenced. So, the price of that repair is coming down, which is making these cars, in my opinion, more valuable, more reachable, more sensible. But I'd have never have shown that process, and people wouldn't have known that process if they'd have helped us. Well, not even helped us, if they'd have let me spend my money.
So is that what Bugatti might have been scared of, but inadvertently they've created what maybe they were trying to avoid?
I don't know, because I'd have just kept my mouth shut, had my car running, give it elbow delete, been ripping around in that 6 months ago. But of course, it's just turned into this crazy situation, which has, in the end, turned around in my favour.
But do you know what it's going to do in the market for Chirons? Chirons, I always said this from day one, they've been underpriced. They've been underpriced from day one, even when they were new.
What were they new?
They were, so there were two prices. The price was £875,000 plus VAT for an early order of a car that's not been revealed yet. So you got the renders of the car. If you placed the order then, before it was launched at the Geneva Motor Show, it was £875 plus VAT. Once it was launched at the Geneva Motor Show, it was £1 million plus VAT.
Right.
So you had a £125,000 bonus.
Wow.
To
Blind it blind.
put your cock on the block and say, yeah, I'll have one of them. Bearing in mind, that was the most expensive car in the world.
I just love that.
So it's risk and reward, isn't it? And
why do you want to play risk and reward with £1 million car?
Because it's 125 grand. You just flip a coin. We're here now.
So what do you think they're worth now, the Chirons?
So what it's going to do, I've always said this, if the running costs were lower, the cars would be more expensive because people are not scared of them. People thought, it's like buying a Concorde. They thought, oh my God, yes, I might have. I bought mine at £650,000. There's a lot of people these days who drive £650,000 cars, and I had a Veyron for that. Now they're almost 3 times the price of that. It's because the running costs have been proven to be 3 times less than what we initially thought they were. But this might be what Bugatti are scared of or is being exposed. But it doesn't make any difference to them. They don't sell Veyrons. They're only interested in their current models that they sell. They don't sell Veyrons. But this leads back to what I'm saying, what it's also going to do in the market. There's some great companies out there that, obviously, you've used Simon Furlonger, great company. I use them for other cars, some classic Lamborghinis and stuff that I have as well. And they've done a couple of jobs on Veyrons for me. But if I had a car for sale that had full Bugatti service history and had loads of bills from Bugatti instead of from a specialist, I would command more money for that car and promote the fact that this has never been to a specialist. This is all Bugatti, because those cars are going to be rarer and rarer and rarer.
I get it, but question then. So when that car goes into Bugatti, that guy who's working on that car, has he done more work and know more about a Veyron in the dealership than Chris at Furlonger?
I have no idea. My answer would be probably not. A technician learns his trade as a technician.
Yeah.
He's got a handbook. The only thing they do have is they have support from the factory.
But so when it goes into that dealership, that guy who's working on that car is going to go, that needs that, take that off, get a box out the cupboard, put it in. Chris took the car, there was a problem with the lock. He took the lock apart to understand how the lock works, to do
because
exactly...
he never had factory support. Normally you'd call the factory and go, hey, how does this lock work? And they go, wiggle it to the left 3 times and pull it twice and it should come undone. But he had to learn the hard way.
But he didn't want to just buy a new one. He wanted to understand it and repair it so that we could stop it happening in the future. So that's where Furlongers were amazing, where they reverse engineered and figured out why this, was it age, was it a problem, was it dry, and that's what, I don't think Bugatti, when you take that into a dealership, they're probably just going to sell like replace, aren't they?
Well, look, this was a statistic that Bugatti let out when they released the Veyron. The average owner of a Veyron had 64 cars, 3 boats, and an aeroplane.
Peasant.
That was
You're bringing their average
that
up.
was their average buyer.
Not anymore.
Look, no. I changed that a long time ago. I changed that 10 years ago. But that's what they're promoting. They're promoting, look, you might think you've got a supercar. You might think that you've got the most expensive, but fuck you. This is for big boys. And that's where their prices come from. And you know what? For a lot of owners, it's a bragging right to go, God, I've just had a bill from Bugatti for 200 grand.
Would you brag about that?
You'd find me swinging from the sign of Bugatti if I had a bill for 200 grand.
And that, to me, when we went down the P1 route, Bugatti, like, I wanted to buy this hypercar, and it was just amazing for our channel buying this hypercar. And obviously, we made a fantastic decision and bought one from Carl out of Harrods. But, the Veyron was one which we looked at. We looked at the Veyron, we looked at the 918, and this literally went out the window because of the tyres.
Well, no, it actually, you told me it kind of went out the window because you went to see one at a dealership and they wouldn't let you drive the car.
We weren't allowed to test drive it.
You weren't allowed to test drive it. So obviously that ticked that off the mark. I mean, look, anyone who knows Mark knows his car collection, knows what a car enthusiast he is. He's not tyre kicking. He's not going to tyre kick your car. So, right, I'm here today. I want to look at £1 million plus car. But you know what? It's a big investment. Before I do you mind if I drive it? We're not talking about just Joe Bloggs off the street who's turned up in his Micra today and got nothing else better to do. He's not a secret. Everyone knows his cars. To turn around and go, no, sorry, you can't have a test drive. Well, that obviously just wiped it out for you, didn't it?
But do you think sometimes that might be, like, it's so different for you because you own the cars? So, you can say, Mark, have a rip in that because it's mine. Mm-hmm. But might it be as well because that car wasn't owned by them?
100%, but it's a phone call to the owner and say,
sort it
hey,
out.
Jeff, how you doing? You all right?
This
I've
guy's
got
serious.
a proper buyer here.
Yeah.
He wants to go for a 5-mile spin. I'll go with him. Like, he's going to walk away if we don't give him a test drive.
Yeah, totally.
I mean, that's not a big call, is it?
No, definitely. And that 100%.
And then what about the tyres then? What didn't you like about the tyres?
So the tyres, they've got a special Pax tyre, it's called. So it's got like strips of almost like plastic in them to withstand the heat of the car going fast. And they're £32,000 per set. And every 3 or 4 sets, every 3 sets, you've got to have new wheels because they're glued onto the wheel. So after that 3rd set, you have to throw the wheels away. And I think the wheels were 60 or 90,000.
But look, that is...
Whoa, let that sink in.
I know, I've sank it in, I've done it.
When you had yours, were you doing that? Were you
I've done
putting
that,
32 grand for 4 tyres. And roughly how much use are you going to get out of 4 tyres?
They come not very much tread on them either. I think they come with 7 mil.
So somebody's like wiping them down.
No, they just come with 7 mil of tread. The legal limit's 3.
So are you changing them every year?
In your house, it's 1.5. In our house, 3.
So how often are you changing them? Yearly?
So what? No. So you so that's another thing. They hit you with the car. I've replaced tyres on a Bugatti that have done 1,000 kilometres because they've told me my tyres have expired. It's not a pint of milk.
They've gone off.
Do you know what I mean?
But how have they got away with that with you?
Well,
that was a weekday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because when I sell the car to Mark McCann, who's done his research on tyres and Bugatti and everything else, and he goes, these tyres are dated 2006.
So this was a summer.
And you go, yeah.
Right.
Well, I'd want a new set of tyres on it because they've expired. Bugatti said they've expired. I'm like, for fuck's sake, okay. And it's not your third set of tyres. It's the car's third set of tyres.
So you might be one set away from the wheels as well.
My
so
first
you'd want to
set.
know, wouldn't
So
you?
that's 100 grand.
My first set of tyres was a new set of wheels.
So you had to drop 100 grand for the tyres and the wheels
Straight away. Bang.
So they know.
And then
That's your first bill.
And 25 grand for a service, 125. straight out the gate before I drove it.
That's why I went for a P1.
Yeah, it's a good call. But now you got both.
But that was, yeah. So
but now you've bought it. So what put you off buying it? But now you've got that problem.
No, because we've teamed up with Wheelmania, and they've made us. Well, we're making a wheel, which then fits a normal size tyre. So from the outside, you won't be able to tell any difference. It'll look exactly the same, but it won't have a 250 mile an hour rating on it. It'll be an Aventador tyre, so it'll still do 186 mile an hour, but you won't be able to do. I wouldn't do a top speed run on that tyre, but the Chiron tyres are cheaper than the Veyron tyres. So there's options. So we've found a loophole now where we'll be able to put more reasonable priced tyres and still be able to use it to perfection.
And maybe this is why Bugatti don't want to take your calls.
But we were forced into this, do you know what I mean?
But no matter what you do, I mean, the tyre, believe it or not, the tyres, the prices have come down. They do these packages now where they say, right, you've got your car, we'll put a 2-year warranty. This is still a big figure, but when you take it and you divide it, it makes a bit of sense.
All right, let's see the comments go on this then.
We'll do a 2-year warranty. We'll do 2 minor services, so literally oil and filter, and 1 set of tyres.
How much?
200 grand.
Oh, nice.
But when you divide it, right, I'm always one of these people, explain it to me, make it make sense. Okay, let me make it make sense. We've got a 2-year warranty on a car that is like a fighter jet.
Yeah, that's worth
right?
some money, isn't it?
So,
take the risk out.
Insurance. That's got to be 100 grand of anybody's money for peace of mind.
I'd agree.
Right.
I'd agree.
So there's your 100 grand.
Yeah.
Right. You've then got 2 services. Bearing in mind, the service is 20 grand, but because it's under warranty, they're going to run through the car. And the service that they do for you, their bill is not going to be 20 grand, is it? They're going to find every pipe and every nut and every bolt and everything to claim through the warranty, to go back to the factory and go, we've just spent 150 grand on this car, right?
Because they want the work.
Because they want the work. You get 2 of them and you get a set of tyres for 36 grand. I think it makes sense. But initially, if Bugatti, if you need me to sell your warranties, just come and give me a call. But initially, it's like, that's heavy. And then you're like, when you weigh it up and you take the meat out of it and you think, okay, well, what am I getting here for this pack? And plus, say you had it for 2 years and you used it for a year and then you went to sell the car the year after, you're selling it with a year's warranty. It's so much more valuable to sell the car with a year's warranty.
So how much does the tyres cost now for you with the Aventador rated tyres on?
They're about 2.5 grand for a set.
It's only a
that's
10th.
Yeah, I think I paid that 2.5, 3. I just did the tyres on my Aventador. It's just straight. And then how often do you have to do the wheel every 3, or that's gone, hasn't it?
So the wheels, I don't know what Wheelmania wheels are, but what's it going to be? £1,000 for a set of wheels?
But look, you don't have to do the wheels. I mean, you don't.
No.
You don't. The more you read into it, they want you to do the wheels because they're surmising that you've done 253 miles an hour regularly.
You can see why, because I'd imagine at that sort of speed, things get a bit dangerous when it gets wrong.
Yeah, of course.
So you can imagine.
Risk on them, isn't there?
Yeah. So if you've done 10 speed runs in your Veyron on 1 set of wheels, 10 VMAX runs, the speed that they're generating and the heat and the pressure that they're under. Say you were to do the 11th speed run and your wheels were to buckle, then you go back to Bugatti and say, I nearly died, if you're lucky to even go back to Bugatti.
You're not going to nearly die, are you?
Right? And go,
I hurt my knee.
No, say, look, I nearly died, your wheel exploded. Well, if you would have put a new set of wheels on the car, like we said, they're just covering themselves.
Yeah.
Well, they reckon that for full tank of fuel, in 12 minutes it runs out of fuel. But in 15 minutes, the tyres would explode from the heat anyway.
Does it cost to fill the tank?
Well, it's funny. So the light came on. Yesterday was the first time I used it.
Light comes on every day, by the way.
Yeah, so the light came on, and I'm thinking 95, 98. I'm thinking I'm going to have to go 98. Don't really like a super unleaded pump, but I thought I'm going to have to go a super unleaded.
Hello, darkness, my old
So I've gone up and I'm thinking, please have the green plastic on, so I can't use the. So then I can say to her, I tried to put 98, but there was only 95. So I started filling it up, and the light was on, and I got to there was a guy came over and spoke to me. I got to £145. I thought, I can't do it. I'm just going to have to stop. So it's not full at 145 quid.
Yeah, there's a 70-litre tank?
I don't know.
I think it's a 70-litre tank.
Yeah, when we got to 145 quid and I tapped out. I was like, put it back in.
Like you've been armbarred or choked.
I could get from my house to central London, like Mayfair, Knightsbridge, and then struggle to get to Warwick Services on the way back.
Because in my head, right, I'm thinking...
It's 200 miles.
I'm thinking big engine, purring on the motorway, not going to use much fuel. I was so wrong. Because it's down to like... I've done a quarter of the tank to get to work and back. So it's going to be expensive using it, that's for certain.
But it's heavy. It's heavy.
Yeah,
it's a heavy
definitely.
car.
Definitely. But do you know sometimes when those big cars, they don't use much fuel doing 70 mile an hour because they're, not doing a lot, but yeah.
Mitzi's Cullinan is great on fuel. I reckon it's better on fuel than my Defender. Like, she just...
It might be how she drives it.
I think it is how she drives it versus... But like you've just said, when you're doing 50, when you're doing 30, when you're doing 40,
some cars
they're not
like
bad.
that.
I mean, it's nearly a 7-litre V12 and it weighs 3.5 tonne.
Jane's G-Wagon, horrific.
That's the worst car on the road.
Horrific.
Nearly as bad as that.
I'd say worse.
It's 50-50.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Mars began the G-Wagons. Because it's a brick though, isn't it?
You're not doing much with the environment, are you? And
No, I sort of do stuff to sort of level out my carbon footprint.
Like what?
I'll plant a tree tonight.
You need to plant a fucking forest for your carbon footprint.
So, just how fucked was this when you bought it?
The trouble is we didn't know. And that's probably the most stupid part of this is,
You bought it fairly blind.
How could we tell any different from what the guy was telling us? And to be fair, everything the guy who owned it, a guy called Howdy, lovely man. The guy who we bought it from the garage, Jamie, again, amazing. He's been unbelievable. We took that car from him and he said to, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And everything he said, actually one of the things wasn't wrong. So, he told us, everything he told us was truthful. And the stuff which was wrong was exactly what he told us.
And what did you pay for it?
900k.
And what did you think your risk was? You said the gearbox, so another 300. Did you think anything else?
Yeah, I always hoped that sort of I didn't need a complete gearbox. I was hoping that they'd repair it or find some parts which wasn't, like worst case scenario was going to be replace the full gearbox. And the rest of it, I knew there was an engine misfire, the spoiler didn't work, the nose lift didn't work, and I was told the clock didn't work as well. So
the speedometer?
No, the Breitling or whatever it is.
Really? It's battery.
But it worked.
Yeah, it worked.
Anyway.
There you go.
So it worked, and the front nose drop worked. So the misfire was true, and the rear wing was a problem.
Was there a risk you could have been negative and you could have lost money?
100%. But the way I looked at it as well as a financial decision, because of Matt Armstrong's videos and Alex, and doing some Googling, the parts on this thing are worth a lot of money. So I thought, worst thing comes to worst, I've got an engine worth a lot of money if it works. I've got parts which are worth a lot of money. So if the worst came to the worst, it's strippable as parts.
And you thought you would have got back your 900 odd?
I felt like I wasn't going to be too backwards, whatever. I felt like with what I knew and the friends I'd got, I thought it was going to be easier than what it was.
How long did it take all in?
6 months.
And was there work being done on it like most days?
All the time. Furlongers were on it. They spent a lot of time and a lot of effort trying. But one of the problems we had was from day one, when I bought the car, I was told the car had no working gearbox. but the gearbox was in Holland, and that's all I knew. It was in Holland, and Holland's a fairly big place.
So the car didn't have a gearbox. I
didn't see the gearbox for the first 6 weeks.
You bought a
I didn't know
car
that.
without a gear. I didn't know that.
There was no gearbox. The gearbox was in Holland.
And you just took someone's word that it was somewhere in Holland.
I took someone's word that the car.
What, Ruud van Nistelrooy's got your gearbox? We think.
I wonder whatever happened to him.
He's I don't know.
To be fair, if you said
looking for a Bugatti gearbox in,
if you said
Holland
name
somewhere.
a Dutch person,
Oh, no,
that would be the only person I could go with.
He's a legend, isn't he? Dutch legend.
Fucking, I didn't know
Yeah,
you
so-
bought it. So you literally bought it in bits, not just in bits, but in bits around Europe.
Bits around Europe, and also if you imagine the mileage, the electronics.
So what was in mileage high?
We didn't know.
Oh.
Like we could see we were told where the last sort of service was, but we didn't know if it got another load on top of that. And also, only probably 6 weeks ago did we actually have a battery on this to see if the car, when we put the new battery on, we're all going, the car was back together thinking, please work, please work, please work. We didn't even know if it was going to start. It was like fairly, when you think about it now, it was fairly stupid, but it was also my only chance because Carl kept very selfishly selling all the cars whenever I came to have a look at them. So every time I tried to get one, the price had gone up another 100 grand. It was at that time, wasn't it, where it just went for a crazy period,
I sold the last 2 Veyrons basically.
What were they? 1.2?
One was 1.2, one was 1.3.
Yeah.
They were I don't think they will see that figure ever again.
So what do you think your Veyron's worth now?
In our latest video, we had it valued by 2 hypercar experts and my mate.
Right. By the way,
I
this will
nearly
go
went-
out after your video.
Yeah. So, I hope so because the video goes out in 3/4 of an hour.
Get the editing
Mate,
team on.
my editors aren't that fucking quick either. So,
Get the editing team on.
did they all value it differently?
Well, you can imagine two valued it at 2 million and car valued it at 1.75. But
Well, 2 valued it as a value, and I valued it to buy it. That's the difference.
Fucking
Yeah.
cars valuations.
What I'm saying, we just sing off the same hymn sheet here. The other 2 people who valued the car, I don't know who they were, but they weren't willing to pay you for it. Where I was, I offered him
So you
offered him 1.750 for this car 2 days ago.
Did you?
Yeah.
and the cheapest one right now for sale is 2.2 million.
And you gave him a hard offer, 1 point.
Yeah.
Wow. And what are you all in on the spend then? So you paid 9 odd, and then what are you all in?
That's the crazy thing. There was a lot of work done, a lot of man hours, a lot of parts. But amazingly, obviously, a lot of those companies didn't charge me. So it cost me £39,000 to fix.
No way. No way. I didn't know that.
Mark.
Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, it's worth just saying it didn't cost you anything. Don't even bother with the 39 grand.
And 7 grand of that was that guy who tried to sell me a gearbox and wasn't true. So
Tell the story about how you were scammed on a...
So we had
That hasn't sunk in though yet.
No,
for me.
I mean, I'm still... That's
39
insane.
39 grand.
grand.
The power of YouTube.
39,083 £39,083.
Including VAT.
Including VAT.
Oh, there we go. Get the VAT back as well.
I haven't got an accountant.
Just the
So,
mate. That's what you need.
myself.
what I'd like to ask you in a bit is what you think it would have cost if you had to pay for all the stuff. But what's this scam story?
Through our video, we were looking for a gearbox. Couldn't get one from Bugatti. I had quite a few people say, I can get you a gearbox. I know of a gearbox. There was one here, one there. A few people saying that they could get one through the Bugatti network on the quiet, all that sort of stuff. But one guy said he'd got a second-hand gearbox which came out of a damaged car in Australia. So spoke to him on the phone, and we'll get back to the phone call afterwards later. But yeah, arranged an amount of money, which was a no-brainer. Like, it was impossible not to make money out of the deal, because he also had some of the parts with the car. So there was a very, very precious control module, which are impossible to find. That was included. Some other parts around the gearbox. Did a deal, sent him a deposit, went to Malaga to see it, pay the balance, the big amount of money, put it in a van whilst I was there to get it to drive back to the UK. And there was no gearbox, and we're still going on with it now.
So you don't even know where he is, I guess.
I do know where he is, who he is, what he is, everything. So
Rude Van Nistelrooy strikes again.
So it was a full-on scam.
Full-on scam. But the interesting thing is...
Why would someone do that if you know who they are?
First rodeo.
And did you... For
he
£7,000.
He knew who we were. He'd watched all the videos and everything. And he's.
And is that what you sent him down? Deposit of £7,000?
No, I sent him a deposit of $3,500.
So the other £3,500 was done in Nobu in Marbella afterwards, since he was there.
Paid him $3,500 deposit, but I knew that the parts, which, if I got it for the full amount of money, I could still make a lot of money out of the deal. Which was we agreed on £60,000, and then he just sort of like disappeared. But he's in a lot of trouble anyway. But we are going to do another video on it. So we've got a barrister who's a great guy, part of the channel, and he's up for getting our money back. So that $39,000 hopefully come down a bit.
I mean, £39,000
ridiculous
to fix a non-working Veyron is totally insane. But
that must be a world record.
But like I say, or like Mark said, a lot of people contributed to be involved in the whole movement, which, you know, I think if you had to pay for everything that you've done, I don't think you could have done it for 100 or maybe more.
What do you reckon it would be?
I was hoping to get in and out for, like, as an absolute, like, the best case scenario. I was thinking if I can get in and out for $1 million, I thought it's going to be unbelievable. But like that was sort of like the ultimate. But then, you know, because of the channel, because of like people subscribing and then YouTube pushing it to more people. You know, as the story went along, you know, we even found out about stuff which we'd done wrong before we'd actually implicated that, because people had watched and said, "Oh no, you need to do this, or you need to change that," or you know that. You know, there was a pressure with one gasket. Somebody said, "Oh no, that's the wrong gasket," and saved us. You know, further down the line, because you know more and more people were starting to watch this video.
So without the channel and having to do it all yourself without all that help, what do you reckon it would have cost you?
I don't think it would have been possible.
You just wouldn't have been able to do it?
Wouldn't have been able to do it. No.
Well, you'd be on a trial and error, because without these people's advice and help, wrong gasket, that's the wrong
Wouldn't
one.
everything.
Well, it'd be error.
You'd have just been going around in circles. You'd have just been going around in circles.
And so back to the first question, that shocked you the most, what, of how helpful everyone was and the money they saved you and the lessons they taught you?
Yeah, the people who fixed this car, you know, they were literally the people who were there at the very start. You know, they were the people who got the email to say, this is what we need to make, this is not what we need to do. And, you know, the people were the only people who had that information we needed in their head. Obviously, Bugatti had that information, but we couldn't get to that. So we needed this knowledge, and literally the only people in the world who could have fixed this car got involved with this car.
You've made £1 million. You've bought something for 9 something, spent 30 something, and made £1 million. I mean, not Carl's buying price, but you know.
Yeah, the market shifted, which helped us lots. The market shifted, and also, you know, our channel and what, you know, the guys here, the effort and the amount of money we spend to make these videos, obviously, you know, has to be added to that bill.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've done exceptionally well out of the risk, 100%. exceptionally well. And that profit is probably only going to get bigger, isn't it?
Oh, it's certainly not going to get smaller. Unless you take it around your dirt track and jump it like you did the Sterato. Please don't do that. Please don't do that.
I honestly think that would be capable of it.
I'll just take your word for it. Okay, it's fine. Yeah, I believe it. It's fine.
Would you do it again? Would you buy a hypercar with all that risk that's fucked, and would you do it again?
No.
Too much?
Not a chance. Yeah, it turned into something which our channel isn't. I thought we were going to repair it a little bit. It turned into more Matt Armstrong by the time we'd finished, because we were fixing things, fixing things. That's not our lane. But obviously, it just turned way more complicated and sort of like car rebuilding than what we're into.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely not. The stress. Like there was days where I'd be, we'd be laughing, we'd be joyful, then we'd be crying in the same day, because you'd think we're getting somewhere, another kick in the nuts, and then it was you read the comments and like, God, you're longing this out. My God, I'd have done it in a week if we could have done it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like the timeline was the minimum amount of timeline it could have possibly been.
And that's about 6 months, did you say?
About 6 months.
Right.
I wanted this car finished. I didn't want the headaches. I didn't want the ups and downs. I was quite happy with just the ups. But it was, it's a very complicated piece of kit. And, you're led to believe sometimes that, yes, there are some parts on there which are Volkswagen. Without a doubt, there's some crossover bits. But that there is one epic piece of automotive machinery, which is worth £1 million for a reason, because it's £1 million worth of car. It's an unbelievable. Yes, there's bits on there which are off a Passat, but trust me, there's like stuff on there which is groundbreaking even in today's standards.
It's a Concorde of a car. Talk me through some highs and some lows, because behind the scenes, me and Mark, we speak all the time. And behind the scenes, he'll send me the odd video or send me, a message and give me an update and whatever, and we'd talk about it, and I'd try and give him some advice on something if I could or whatever. And I know emotionally you've been on a roller coaster with this car. So let's just rewind 6 months ago.
Got goosebumps now.
So 6 months ago...
You actually have.
I know.
But I know what he's been through. You and Jane and the whole team, actually. So 6 months ago, Mark came to me to break the news that he had bought this car. And you should definitely show that clip, by the way, because it was such a natural response. And I was like, what the fuck have you done?
Basically, it's a...
Oh, mate, I know this car.
Who doesn't know this car? It's been everywhere.
Have you bought that? Why?
Because it's going to be my only option price-wise in.
That car's going to cost you a lot of money. I mean, that's got to pass, that car. Everyone's biggest issue with a Veyron is, what if it goes wrong? Mm-hmm. You're buying a cancer patient. No, do you know what I'm saying? You're buying a terminally ill car. Do you know, it's like, when your son comes back at 15 and tells you his girlfriend's pregnant, and you're like, congratulations, son. You think, f***ing hell, what's he getting into?
So it's a risk.
It's very, very risky. It's very, very risky. But with big risk come big rewards. I thought it was just fucked. I thought the car was just... And obviously,
What would
you
have give for it if Mark
I wouldn't have bought it.
You wouldn't have bought it?
No, I wouldn't have bought
for
it.
700?
No.
No.
And the full clip on that video, the full clip is horrific.
I mean, my obviously, it wasn't for the fact that I'd never sold him one of mine, because mine were both sold. So he came to me and said, look, he called me up first and he said, I want to see you today. I was like, yeah, okay, no problem. So he come round to the showroom and he said, look, I want to tell you something. Camera's rolling, so it's totally I don't know what he's going to tell me. Camera's rolling and he's like, I bought a car. So I'm like, oh, congratulations. That's fantastic. I know every Veyron, definitely in the UK, probably in Europe. Most of them around the world. I told him the chassis number of this car before he told me, the chassis number of this car. I knew. And I said, which car did you buy? And he said, you ready? I was like, yeah. So I don't know what to expect. So he showed me this car and I was like, what the fuck have you done? What have you done? And he was like, it'll be all right. So then he told me how much he paid. But I knew at the same time, and I'm going to let you finish this because I get stick for talking too much. But I knew you were very nervous of paying 900,000, which it's all fine, well and good when it works out. Yeah. But when it doesn't work out, and my opinion on this car was, obviously I didn't know the ins and outs, but my opinion was it was just unviable, just stay away from it. I remember that car came to my barbecue, and it
what, on its own?
the guy drove it to the barbecue, and as he drove in the gate, he said, look, I cannot put this car in reverse. So where do I go that I can turn it around and drive back out when I'm ready to leave? Because it does not go in reverse. So, I knew the car.
He drove like that for 2 years, Mark. 2 years. He must live on a roundabout.
Yeah. So look, without me going on anymore, talk me through the minute you bought and paid for it, your emotions, your feelings, and then all the way through the highs.
To seeing you.
I've got messages from Mark where he's semi in tears of joy and tears of regret as well. So go on, tell me.
So the day we walked in there, it wasn't what we expected. So we went there. I had the day off work, which is difficult. Went and had a look at this car, and was quite annoyed that this guy had wasted our time. Told us it was going to be this. We went there. The car was into. We got some photos of the car. And the car wasn't looking like that, but it was 3/4 of the way there. It was a driving car outside. Right. So we're thinking, that's what it is.
So that was the initial shock, that it was in a load of bits.
Load of bits.
Right.
And obviously then it was like, nah, not interested. And I think the price, it was like 1.5 million he wanted to start with. Then it went to 1.2. And then it was just like, man, this is I've literally drove down to the south of London for an absolute waste of time. And then when we talked about it, I remember that we were sat in this pub and Ollie said, just wait here. If we can get this for the right price, good for the channel. And obviously, we make YouTube videos, so it was a consideration that.
Yeah, but you don't have to spend 900 grand to make
YouTube video. But we're thinking maybe this could be a good thing. Maybe buying a repairable one is better than. Buying a proper one. I say proper. And then we went to see Carl, and I honestly thought he'd go, oh, okay, 900 grand. Well, that's all right, you'll be okay. And he literally just went, no, mate, back out. And he was literally going, we got to put the full clip out one day.
Yeah, we will.
Because he was like, back out, no. And I was like, no, it's done, it's mine.
Yeah, I was like, you haven't paid for it yet. He's like, yeah, it's done, it's mine.
And he was like, no, get your money back. You cannot, that car is scrap. And I was just like, oh God. And then and I literally went from being, I've got a Veyron, it's the cheapest Veyron in the world, to oh my God. To the fact that I'm not quite sure how I'm going to tell Jane exactly Carl's response, because it was that bad. It was that bad. And then we went on this journey where trying to find a gearbox was a problem, because we couldn't even get them to give us a price. So that was obviously starting to get a bit worrying. And then we found Andrew the scammer, who had a gearbox, and then it was all solved, because we were going to get a gearbox for 60 grand, put it in my 900 grand car, and we were sorted, because then I could sell the TCU, which was this other part of equipment he had. Very clever man how he did it. And so things were going good, and then we get to Malaga and there's no Andrew the scammer, and then we're stuck. Then the deposit was a lot of money, but we'd made a video, so it wasn't the end of the world, but that was another kick in the nuts. Then it's unfixable, and then all of a sudden momentum just started of the emails, and it's real difficult when we've got we're really lucky that we're well known in the automotive world, and we get a lot of messages. And sometimes people get annoyed because they say, "Oh, I sent you 4 messages." Like I cannot possibly look at all of my Instagram messages. It's not possible. That's a full-time job. So we miss stuff. So, there's a team of us who will look on there and try and keep up with stuff, because some of that information in there we knew would be golden. And then we had some emails, and then, somebody reaches out again. There was one guy called Rob. And at this stage now, we found out that there was a gearbox in Holland with a guy called Pascal. Spoke to Pascal. Pascal was like, "Yeah, we're here. This is where we're at. Can we bring a camera?" Pascal's like, "Yeah, bring a camera. We're good." So I'm thinking, okay, this is spot on. Go see Pascal. And he's like saying, "Right, we've had to guess a bit with this clutch, because obviously we can't get one. We don't know exactly what the material is, but this Pascal's a very clever man. So he's using all his knowledge to guess at this material." Then the guy called Rob, who's been massively involved with the gearbox and the clutch and all sorts of stuff. So Pascal said, "I've had this guy on the phone. He spent a couple of hours on me on the phone, and he's going to come over and have a look." And all of a sudden, this man is putting his time. He's got kids, he's got a wife, and he's putting all his effort into helping me fix this car. And that went on from there, where these people came along and joined in the journey and helped Pascal to make this gearbox. So everything was looking good. We go to Furlongers. Furlongers, they've been amazing. You said how good they were, but my God, what a company. The stuff they do. This is a small project to them. They know their stuff. And then they were getting involved, and then more people from ex-Bugatti, ex-Ricardo, the gearbox manufacturers, were coming involved, and everybody had a little bit of information and a little bit here. And then it was all going great, and I was thinking, we've got it, we've done it, we've sorted. And then our clutch started slipping. So all the way along, we've gone to Holland, we've built this gearbox, we've found this clutch materials, we've put it in, we've gone on this mammoth task to put it into the car. But before we put it into the car, we've got to make sure we run the gearboxes. So we made a test rig. A test rig was £500,000. We managed to make our own test rig for 10 grand. It was all bubbling up to be this amazing epic finish. And we got in the car and the clutch didn't work. And then that was probably the worst moment.
I remember talking to you about that.
It was so oh God, it was so bad. So bad, because it was we really are fucked now. We are, because yes, we can try again, but this very clever man has decided on this clutch material. Fuck, I'm getting emotional. This very clever man had decided on this clutch material, and it didn't work. And he'd used all his knowledge to find this clutch material. So what we're doing next?
Where do you go after him?
He's the man, and he's thought this is what we need, and this is what we need didn't work. So what's he doing now? He's having a second guess. Well, is he having a third guess, a fourth guess, a fifth guess? And each time these guesses are going to be 10 grand. And that was a really, really, really low part, was trying to figure out what the hell and where we go from there. And then the guys, Rob and Andrew, basically built in this car, this epic car, that every time you start this car and you leave it idling for 30 seconds, they've programmed that this car adjusts its own clutch. It adjusts its clutch. So every time a Bugatti driver who needs the perfect car gets a perfect car. So this car self-adjusts its clutch, and it adapts so that every time he pulls off, it feels the same as it did yesterday. Even when his clutch is wearing out, it feels the same as the day he bought his car. And so we've been through a process of driving the car. They've told us what we have to do to make that car teach itself to work with that clutch. So we've been driving it at 30-second intervals at certain speeds and revs, and the clutch has found itself to work. It's taught itself to live with that aftermarket clutch.
So that was the high. Would that be the high point for you? Coming after such a low.
It was really hard to get high after that, because it was so low that it wasn't really about...
More like a relief than a high.
Yeah, because it got to the stage now, it's like, well, let's not get too excited here because...
It could go tits up again.
It could go tits up again because I thought it was sorted. And I'm still like that now where I'm struggling to really enjoy the car.
But what about when you first drove it? Couldn't you allow yourself then?
No, because I was like, what was that noise? What's that going on?
Yeah,
Where's that?
I
What's
told
that
you
like
about
that?
this. You can't take any notice to that in the Bugatti. You hear the odd noise and you're like, oh shit, how many tens of thousands is that going to cost? And you know what? It's just the car's got like its own... It's got its own brain and its own, you know, ecosystem in the car.
It's doing stuff all the time.
Yeah, I know, it does.
It's working. It basically makes sure that every time you drive that car, it's as good as it can be. And it does that by itself. It's just unbelievable.
So you just got to go, turn the music up and not listen to the sounds.
Because that's it. That is it. It just adjusting and sorting itself out and doing things. But it's been epic. And we've been down to the Harvester and back. And
what's the fastest you've got in it so far?
70.
Oh, because that's the legal speed limit.
We don't break the speed limit around here. Right?
No, I've not.
Well, you've said you have many times.
I was young and foolish.
No, I've not.
You've not opened it up properly yet?
No, not yet. No.
Too scared to?
Yeah, I feel that it's still adapting. So the clutch, obviously, it's adapting and it's getting better and it's really, really good now. But I feel like at the minute, after what we've been through, I'm quite happy at doing 70 mile an hour, getting to the factory and back, going down the Harvester. I'm quite happy living that life. I don't feel the need at the minute, and I'm sure the people who watch the channel and definitely the lads who work for me want to do this top speed run, get the speed key out. But at the minute...
You do want to do that?
I do, but risk and reward.
Oh, baby steps.
Risk and reward, you
Exactly.
bought it.
Just take baby steps. Listen, it will be a week of usage before you'll be like, let's just see if it goes a little bit faster.
And I'm sure, when you've been lucky enough to have a new car, to start, if you like, you're not sure of your bearings and where your bumpers are, and it's all new, and it's very new with that. Like, when I go around the blind corner around the top here, I'm like scared to death somebody's coming around the corner too fast the other way, because that is one of the problems with it. What do I do then? But yeah, so I've not fully enjoyed it for definite at the minute. It's been epic and it's been amazing and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I haven't definitely not got my confidence yet.
People see the supercars, but they don't see the money and investing decisions behind owning them, because traditional education is broken and school taught you how to be a slave, not a money master. And that's why over 2 decades I built a brand new money school. Money.School Gold is my global financial education platform to help you make, manage and multiply more money. The gold level is for people who want to hit 7, then 8, then 9 figures in income and invest for the greatest return and build generational wealth. There are literally dozens of hours of more advanced courses, resources and masterclasses to help you scale your business, invest in property stocks, gold, silver, assets and watches, and of course, cars. So join this exclusive community and global school of other entrepreneurs at money.school/gold cars. And you can cancel anytime, no ongoing contract, and at just over £1 a day, it's 99.9% less than traditional education. And your kids get free membership. Money.school/gold cars. And have you got any plans for it though? You must have some big plans.
Yeah, one of the first videos we want to do is to take it to Mansouri. So we're going to go see the man himself and he's going to tell us a story. That's going to be one of the big things, because I want to understand about this car. Because if you imagine, Mansouri have done some crazy projects, but back when they did this, they were very early doors, very early doors. So this to them would have been massive, and I want to understand that story, because they did 5 of these Mansouris when I can't imagine they were doing anything as posh as this. So I'm really excited to speak to him.
Do you think you might let him unleash on it then?
Definitely not.
Karush is funny, man. He would be like, oh, your car is broken. I've broken your car.
Oh, never mind.
I will give you $1 million to fix the car.
So that's going to be really good. And then a road trip, which is really difficult because I don't know what to do.
No luggage space.
No,
Absolutely no luggage space. The amount of
Zero.
times me and Mitzi went away for the weekend and she's holding 2 suitcases on her lap. No luggage space at all. And I don't know if your car's still got it. Mine used to have a plaque or a sticker in the bonnet that used to say, don't store like aerosol cans or anything that could explode
of heat.
in the bonnet because it gets so hot in there.
Do you know what? I took something out there the other day and I thought it's warm in there as
Yeah,
soon as
it
the
does get
engine's
hot.
in the back.
It gets hot. I don't know what generates the heat in there, but I've like before I put like it's literally big enough to put a wash bag in. So you know your wash bag with your deodorant and your razor and your toothbrush and whatever. Like that's how I used to go away for the weekend. Is that
In
and
that.
you just buy clothes on the way there to wear that night. And I remember I got it out and this is the first time I seen this sticker. I got it out and I was like, oh yeah, that's warm. Like it was hot. Like the zip of the bag was hot. And then I seen this sticker and it said like, do not store anything that can overheat. And then there was an aerosol can with a red fucking cross across it, you know. And I had all sorts in there, you know.
So my meal deal's coming inside of me. Then don't put it in the front of there.
Be a great Deliveroo car, wouldn't it? Keep your pizza warm.
So yeah, I don't know what to do because I'd really like. Obviously, like I said, a lot of the people wouldn't have payment. You know, so you know the deal was that they didn't want any money. The guys who did all the electrics and stuff, they literally wouldn't have any money off me. And I think it'd be really good to get the team involved in a road trip. I think that would be a really cool video rather than just taking it down the autobahn or something like that. Maybe we can all go on a camping holiday together or something. I don't know what, but yeah, I've just got to enjoy it now. Yeah. I enjoy looking at it. I enjoy, we're going to probably put a little bit of a twist to the look of the car maybe, which I'm sure will go down very well.
You took it down Redditch High Street yet?
I've took it round the Cloverleaf. I've been to, first day. I got a milkshake from KFC. Fell over.
Through the drive-through?
No, I pulled over. Then have to spend the next 10 minutes speaking to people, which is great.
Yeah.
But then got in the car, bloody milkshake fell over, didn't it, in the front of the Bugatti Veyron.
Oh God, first day. And then it dries, and then the milk goes sour, and then it stinks.
God, I came back and I was just like, it was a difficult 10 minutes. But like I don't know what we're going to do. It's been such a massive part of our lives that, it's a big, now it works, it's back here.
Mm. And what do people misunderstand about Bugattis that now you understand?
The luxury. The word hypercar to me is carbon fibre, stripped out, Alcantara, too hot, can't hear nothing, bone breaking. That to me is what a hypercar is. Like risking death and fire. But this is just like Carl said, it's a Concorde. Like until I test drove with Carl, I had no idea, and now I've got mine. Me and Jane went out in it, and we were like, she was amazed. Like, this is just nice. It's not like any other hypercar. It is like a Bentley. You get in it, it's like a Rolls Royce, a Bentley. It's plush, it's luxurious. Like all the buttons feel nice. Everything feels well built, heavy, not like a stripped out race car.
I remember one of my best friends who's not into cars. He's got a couple of nice cars, but only because I've kind of made him buy nice cars. He does really well.
Off you.
Off me. And like he's got a Rolls Royce.
It's what friends are for, Carl.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's how he sells. He makes you buy them.
He's got a 488 Ferrari and a Rolls Royce Dawn. He very rarely uses either of them. Anyway, we were going somewhere in my Veyron when I first had it, and he is like, this is an absolutely stupid amount of money to give for a car. You could buy 5 townhouses and get this much rent back. I mean, I thought I was like talking to Rob there for a second. And 5 minutes into the drive, literally before we got to the M42, he's touching the dash and he's touching like the center console, and he went, "You know what? £1 million is a stupid amount of money for a car, but I can see £1 million in this car."
100%.
And you can.
You can.
You 100% can. There's a lot of cars I get in that are £500,000, and you think this is built like shit.
Well, do you know, when you look under that and I look at all the parts and I think, if I had to buy and make all these parts, I can't do it for €1 million.
Well, no, because it cost them...
But VW couldn't either.
Yeah, it cost them €3.5 million. £3.5 million pounds.
Apparently...
To what?
To build each car.
The story is it's 5 million it cost.
Euros.
They lost four. They lost 4 million.
They lost 3.5 million. Yeah, sorry, they lost 3.5
Why?
million euros to prove that they can make the world's greatest car.
It wasn't a business exercise. It was a publicity exercise.
Probably a bit of a tax write-off as well.
Yeah.
You know, Volkswagen earned $3 billion this year. Let's get rid of some of the profits.
But yeah, I
Do you think
whether...
they make profits on the Chirons and things like that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I think that was
Because that was like the prototype.
This
for
was a
all of those.
long-term, new launch for Bugatti. You know, if this car failed, then there was no future models. This car came after an EB110, which was a flop. Let's be totally honest with you. I mean, they're only valuable now because of a Veyron. You know, so at the time Bugatti were going out of business. It put them out of business. Bugatti were out of business before Volkswagen came in and bought the company, and then invested however many hundreds of millions into the research and development and making the Veyron. I believe that a Veyron, I've said this for years, I believe a Veyron will supersede a Chiron in value. It's not far off of it now. I mean, when I say it's not far, it's 1 million away, but it's 3/4 of the way there. And if this car doesn't hit, then who's going to buy the next model?
And I think that definitely will happen, because you've got to look at some of the collectors, some of the famous people who have got these cars. They have enough money to have a Chiron, but they drive round and own a Veyron. And they could buy a Chiron, but they want the Veyron version. So, you know, the slower, older...
Well, the Chiron is a far superior version of a Veyron. But a Veyron is its own entity completely. It's a new blueprint. The Chiron was built off the blueprint of a Veyron. The Veyron is its own car, completely owned. I mean, the technology in that car and the engineering in that car changed the world of supercars completely.
Well, when we were talking to Rob and Andrew and all the guys from Ricardo, they got this brief off Volkswagen to make a DCT gearbox to withstand 1,000 horsepower. Well, the cars then were 500 horsepower.
Max.
So there wasn't... The parts which needed to make this car didn't exist. The tyres didn't exist. The gearbox didn't exist. The engine didn't exist. All the parts needed had to be made by engineers to get this car. That's why it's so amazing. Like, the more I've learned about this car and done, you know, that gearbox was made because they needed a gearbox and it had never been done before. So they gave a British engineering company, Ricardo, not an open checkbook, but this is what we need, make it. And I know the bill was more than they thought, and I imagine that went along the way.
So what that does is that sets them up for the next models, for the Chiron. Okay, they take the blueprint of that gearbox, they tweak it slightly, but the hard work's already been done, everything's already been done. That's the instruction manual for the Chiron, the Tourbillon, and whatever else comes after it. That is the instruction manual for it.
And that's why you think it'll end up being worth the most, because it's the original.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I really do.
How many did they make?
They made 340 in total of every variant of a Veyron.
Okay.
So in that variance, that's what they call the 16.4,
Yeah.
which a lot of people think it's a 16.4 litre, but it's not. The 16.4 stands for W16, and the 0.4 is 4 turbos.
Yeah.
So basically mine's the bottom of the range. They all go up from here, don't they?
His is like the starter pack.
Yeah.
Poverty.
Yeah, then you get the 16.4 Grand Sport, which is the convertible version of that. Same car, same engine, roof comes off. They obviously done some special editions in those as well. Mark's car is kind of modelled off an edition called a Pur Sang, which was one of 5 cars that Bugatti made in that configuration, the chrome with the carbon fibre. And then they made the Super Sport, which was 1,200 horsepower instead of 1,000 horsepower. And then they made the Super Sport Vitesse, which is the 1,200 horsepower convertible. And like I said, they made special editions along the way. They made a world record edition. They made one of 5 world record edition.
Well, we saw that one down at European Prestige, and it was basically a green one with a signature on, which sounds
the Villa
really,
d'Est.
And like it was another £1 million.
Yeah,
but it was the same car.
Same car. They just sometimes they had a bit of fun with some spec configurations, and they just charged another £1 million.
They literally there was
you get
signature.
You get the best value at the bottom then.
Yeah, exactly. I think so. I think.
But we talked about this, and I think the best value of these cars is the standard 16.4.
Well, everything you've said about this being the original car for all their other models, this is the original car for the Veyron.
Exactly. Yeah,
So,
exactly.
you know, Tom, who's been on the show, Tom Bolt, he always likes to buy the first edition of the watch, not the ones that's made after and after and after, because the first edition is the original watch.
Yeah, and that's what the rest are built from.
Yeah.
So that all the hard work went into that first edition.
And I think with the Veyron as well, because of probably the time, the time they came from, around that 2005 to 2008, the colours of the people who were speccing these cars, whoever these people who had these like boats and 64 cars, and they didn't have a lot of good choice of colours.
So there's an explanation for that.
But you've just said that, and you've bought a mirror.
A mirror, the best colour.
There
Because
is
he sees his reflection.
there is no way you are ever going to have that ever clean.
It's going to be
Isn't it?
a mission. But there's chocolate brown, there's...
But the reason for that, there's reason behind it. The reason is these cars come out in 2006, so only the very, 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 very early customers had a car in 2006. There wasn't many. Most cars came out in 2007. Well, 2008, the credit crunch happened, and the whole of the UK and Europe was skint. So you have to look to the countries that had all the money, because that's where all the orders were going. Dubai, Russia, China. Their taste is slightly different to the average Brit.
That was very respectfully said of you.
Yeah, well, the gold and the browns and the mirrors and all this, they're more flamboyant, aren't they?
Yeah.
And so there's not very many UK supplied Veyrons, because you have to remember they made them from 2006 to probably 2010, and then they stopped making the cars. So that was a tough period for the UK at that time financially.
Yeah.
Even if you could afford to go and buy yourself a new Veyron, it wasn't the best show to everybody who's struggling around you to go and give £1 million for a car at that time.
Yeah, when we were looking at the different ones, there was the ones which were for sale. I'd have had to spend money to make them look the way I wanted it to look anyway, because I didn't want to drive. When you want your perfect car, you want it to be perfect. So
what are you going to do to this then? How are you going to tweak this?
I can't possibly tell you.
Well, tell us roughly where you're going to start.
So
what you're going to change.
The colour's going to be a challenge, like you say, without a doubt. So we're going to have to try and figure that out, because we live in the UK.
Yeah.
So, it's impossible, literally impossible, to keep that looking anywhere near as it does today. Impossible. So we're going to have to look at that. The wheels, at the minute, these are running around on the proper Bugatti wheels.
But also, what he didn't tell you when he bought this car for 900,000, how many sets of wheels did you have?
3 sets.
3 sets of wheels that are 52,000 euros per set. And that set that are on the car are from a Bugatti Supersport. You can't buy those wheels. Like, you literally can't buy those wheels.
How much do you reckon those wheels are worth, do you reckon?
Well, I sold a set of standard... I sold it to Andy King, who from Apollo Capital. I sold a set of standard Grand Sport Bugatti wheels for £27,000.
Yeah, he was pissed about that.
Well, but they were cheap.
See, I think they're worth 60 grand, those wheels.
I think their wheels are worth 60 grand. Yeah, 15 grand a wheel.
The car came with 3 sets of wheels. Wow.
So it was 900, wasn't 900, was it?
No. You're a very smart man, Mark, aren't you?
And then I'd love some sport seats.
I like the comfort seats, but you like the sports seats in the black one that I had.
like right now when I've been driving that, I'm like, oh, this is nice. This is like, it's comfortable, which obviously I suppose that's why they call it the comfort seat. And yeah, I don't know, colour, wheels. I'd love to do all sorts of stuff to make it a little bit more...
Neon lights at the bottom.
Yeah, make it a little bit more...
Subwoofer in the bonnet.
Respectfully change it for my taste.
Have you thought about just going absolutely... You know, like you did with the SVJ and going fucking mad?
Of course he has.
Have you thought about, you know what, fuck, I could do this to this Veyron?
No.
No?
Yes, you have.
I haven't.
You got big balls, but they're not that big.
No. There's times when I thought this car's going to break me. Like, luckily, the people I have around me, including my wife, you know, you've got to think that a lot of wives might have gone, sure about this, but she trusted me to know that I've made some decent decisions in the past. So yeah, where it is at the minute, I'm quite sort of, not doing anything too mad.
It scared you a bit up to now, hasn't it?
It was when that bloody clutch slipped the other week. That was bad.
But
Really
all those
bad.
feelings will be a distant memory in a month or
Yeah,
two, won't they?
that's what you're saying this now. It's like two boxers going in the ring, and the first punch is a straight right, and you think, shit, I better stay away from him. But 3 rounds in, you've took the straight right 3 or 4 times. You're like, well, that's okay.
It's like when motocross, you broke a bone, you think, never again. Then once the pain goes away, you think,
Can't wait to get back on that.
There was a high when it first went backwards and forwards. And if I think about that to the low when the clutch slipped, that high was way bigger than the low. From where normal is, the high was up here and the low was nowhere near as far off that line.
Yeah.
And yeah, the happiness it's brought to people, already. Me and Jane went out in it, and there was a lorry in front of us going up towards Hopwood, and he wanted to see the car, so he was fully on the wrong side of the road, so he could see it in his mirror. He was just. I've been lucky enough to be in some amazing cars. Nothing like this.
Bugatti just hits different. When it's on the road, when it's in the wild, when it's parked outside of a restaurant, outside of a hotel, anywhere in the world, it hits different. I love the look of kids 12, 13 years old when they see a Bugatti. It blows their mind off. Yeah, they can't believe it.
And a few people who I've spoke to as well, I've not had many interactions with people since I bought it, but do you know, when I've had a lovely Lambo before or a McLaren, somebody will say, oh, it's lovely, it's real nice, what is it? I haven't had that with that.
No, everyone knows what it is.
Everyone said, oh, I love a Bugatti.
So have you kept under the radar? I know the video's going out tonight, so this is going to come out next week, so the video would have already been launched, and if you haven't seen it already, head to Mark's channel and see it. But I know you've done a few outings in it, but you must have tried to keep it's a chrome Veyron, so you can't be quite that discreet, but you must have thought to yourself, I can't let everyone see it works yet.
Well, no, because I assumed that I wasn't going to be allowed by our team to use it till tonight. So I thought at 6 o'clock tonight, at 6:01, I'm out in this. But over the last few days, they said, go and enjoy it, which was cool because, it was nice to...
They've obviously put themselves in your shoes and think, fuck, he's got a Veyron sitting in his garage that we've told him not to use.
But I'm sure as it's brought a few people, or as people, people think, oh my God, it's driving. Because obviously the end of the last video was like devastation. The clutch was slipping. We didn't know what we were going to do. So, it looked more than likely that the car was going to have to be split into 2 and we were starting again. So I think, a bit of positivity around the internet that it's actually working, because it's obviously been photoed and then shared and stuff like that. So there's a few people, well, a lot of people who already know that it's obviously progressed from the last time they saw the end of the video.
So I get so many people every time I go out to a pub or some, locally, because obviously I only live local to Mark.
You're still late though.
Yeah, still late. Because I get people all the time hi Carl, love the podcast, love what you're doing, love that car you've got. How's Mark's Veyron? What do you think of Mark's Veyron? And I had a guy last night and he said, is it working? I said, look, I can't tell you. Stay tuned for tomorrow night.
Do you know what's the cool thing as well? And because we've been on this journey with this, the public, our viewers, the internet has been in the same place as us because we've done a video and it's live, it's real. It might be 3 or 4 days behind where we actually are in the world. But when that vehicle, when people go, but where is it really at? I'm like,
there.
It's there. Where you've seen it is where it is. And they're like, no, but that's YouTube. What's happened really? I'm like, no. I'm bollocks at the minute. We're in the shit. It doesn't. It was good to everyone be on the same hymn sheet to where
I've
we
just
were.
told everyone I've signed an NDA.
Just
shuts them off completely because they got so many questions. I've only gone for a pint and I get hounded. I'm like, look, I've had to sign an NDA. I can't speak to you about anything. Not about cars, not about Mark, not about nothing. I'm really sorry.
It's so
But if
cool.
I knew, I would definitely tell you.
Wind him up. If you were bought a car off me, I'd have told you.
Yeah, depends. Go on my website, pick a car, and I'll see how much I can get.
But everywhere, like literally, whether I go to the supermarket, whether I go to the Chinese, whether I go to the petrol station, to the toilet, it doesn't matter where I go, everyone says, "Is it working? Is it working? Is it working?" So I don't know what they're going to say next, but it's been.
And you got a cool plate. You must have bought the plate to go on the car.
I've had that plate for 10 years.
But I was going to say that plate means 2 things to you.
Yeah.
It means obviously your racing days.
Yeah. So it was,
and now it's on a Bugatti.
And when we were thinking about, I love a plate, to finish the series off, it's always great to have a plate. And we looked at MM64 Bug BUG, but of course this car's too old. And a few people have tried to sell it to me, which is flipping great. Fair play to them. And then the camper, because I used to race buggies, UTV, side-by-sides, they were called buggies. So the camper was BUG6Y, so it literally said buggy. And then obviously I'd never even entered my head, and I was going to put Rotbox on it. I like the red Rotbox, ROT80X. And then I thought, oh my God, we've got buggy. So like it was the perfect plate for it.
You nicknamed it yet?
What, the car?
Yeah.
It's going to always be Veyron, isn't it? It's got to be.
I don't know. So some people name their cars.
I think so. I think when we get some nice stuff done to the inside, like I want a nice set of mats and stuff. There's definitely going to be Vey on the one and Ron on the other.
Because he named the 2 halves of the car Vey and Ron.
And I don't know, it's so special, and the journey we've been on it's just been amazing.
Tom Hartley Cars is the UK's leading supercar dealer with over 55 years in the business. Not only is our available stock second to none in the UK, but we make buying or selling your supercar a seamless transaction with instant decisions and payment when selling your supercar to us. When buying a super, classic or hypercar from us, our service is totally unmatched. Please call us today or visit the website tomhartley.com.
So we'll finish then with the last question, which is, what's your next project?
I honestly don't know. And this is where we are with our channel. People always say, everyone thinks that you've got this next thing sorted and our channel is always very, very unhealthy for stress levels because we don't know where we're going next. But that's what also makes our channel as well, because opportunities come our way. And if we were fully booked up and had all these ideas, we'd probably go, yeah, we're a bit busy. But we have to react. And so some of the best opportunities, which our channel, some of the best videos have been because we've had an opportunity, and at the minute we're looking for those opportunities because we're literally.
I'm sure this is going to give you a bit more content in the future, isn't it? Like
yeah.
You're sitting here like, oh well, there's nothing else to do now because it's done. I might surprise you a bit, maybe.
Yeah, I hope not. I hope there's not another rebuild video, but yeah, Mansouri visit is next. Road trip, obviously next. We're going to do a bit of work with the P1. The P1's having I can say it, the P1's having a facelift,
right?
Which I'm sure make a lot of people happy.
Yeah, make me happy.
P1's having a facelift. A few investment supercars, a bit more on the theft side. We've got a great story with a V5 which has come through the post. So yeah, got some exciting stuff. And
remember, we had a chat in Harrods, sat in the window on the Brompton Road in Harrods, and Mark had just agreed to buy the P1. And he said, you know what? If it wasn't for YouTube and it wasn't for my channel, I don't believe I would be able to purchase a car like the P1. You said that?
Yeah, 100%.
Yep.
Well, because of the money it makes you.
Not because of, no, more the fact that I'm put in these situations and doors have opened where I never really knew a world like that existed.
Right.
So,
And to skip forward 2 years, you have the P1 and now you're sitting with a Veyron.
Do you know
and
what-
obviously all your other cars as well.
do you know what skip forward it is though?
Go on.
A year. It's only 1 year since we bought that P1.
Oh shit, yeah, it was only a year. 1 year.
1 year.
Yeah, 1 year. 1 year later.
Crazy.
You know, think of the cars you went to see before the P1. The 918, the P1, the Bugatti. So, fuck it, you got to buy a 918 next. And say, you know, in 2 years, I went to go and see all three, I bought all three.
And that's the thing where like this YouTube has brought me to here. And it wouldn't have I wouldn't have had a broken Mansory Veyron if it wasn't for YouTube. You know, the weekend we went to the F1, like, you know, get invited to the Formula One. You know, we get to do things. I went to the Pride of Britain on the red carpet. It's just a very, as you guys know, it's a very, very special platform where we get to do amazing things and meet people. And this is a byproduct of YouTube.
If you don't mind, I'm going to sneak two in. Here's why. Because we've been asking these questions to kind of every guest, so they're sort of sticking as common questions.
This is the one where you go, oh, not again.
Okay, so you can either go to jail for a year or drive only an electric car for the rest of your life. Which one is it?
I'm going to go jail. And there's a few reasons.
Good lad.
There's a few reasons.
share a cell.
Number one, I've got a tattoo, so no one's going to touch me.
Yeah.
I'm safe. And number two, I feel like if I did end up in prison, which I hope I definitely do, I feel like I could use that time to my advantage.
How?
Stop spending money.
Yes. I think I could have time to go to the gym. I could educate myself better, learn a language.
What kind of language you learn in jail, mate?
But there's education, isn't there?
I had to say help in different dialects.
Leave me alone. So yeah, I'm going to go.
You'll take the jail.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah, I
take
mean,
the jail.
any real car enthusiast or any real man says jail. I don't want to go to jail, but I'm not driving an electric car for the rest of my life. So there you go. I'm sacrificing 1 year for possibly another, 39. Say I've got another 39 years left if I'm lucky. Sacrificing one for another 39 is no big deal.
And another one, do you know the mug shot you've got with all the lines when you stood there like that? I'd love that on my wall.
No, I wouldn't,
know-
because it would tell everybody how tall I am. I'd have to add it. I'm like, mate, you're going to have to get me a box or something here. I need to stand on something.
And this is the final one. What one car screams that someone's trying too hard?
Oof. The car which I think a little bit overrated, but I was there. I had one, a Urus.
Thank you. I said the same thing. That was my answer.
That was his answer?
We've asked
Urus.
3 or 4 people, and I think the first time we asked, that was my answer.
Yeah, I suppose that's the one. But
Why?
It's a great car,
it's a great car. Yeah,
but it's my opinion of it. It's a great car, but it's totally unnecessary when a car for half the price does the same job.
yeah.
But
yeah, I know what you
you've
mean.
paid double for it to be a Lamborghini.
Yeah, they're a big old bus, and it's and also as well, it's not really a Lambo, is it? Not what a Lambo should be.
It's an Audi RSQ8 for double the price with a Lamborghini badge.
I get told off in the comments for making this statement, so I'm just going to sit back and...
But nonetheless,
Revel in it.
it's a great car, and I have a lovely collection of them for sale right now if someone wants to buy one.
It is a great car.
I've had a couple of you, actually.
Yeah. We've enjoyed them, but
What would you have instead then of a similar car? What would you have instead?
as in a 4-wheel.
Yeah, 4x4.
G63 is absolutely amazing, but everybody, I'm the only person who likes them. I'm literally the only person.
I
You're
like
not.
them.
A lot
I
of
like
people
No,
like
not the G63. The only person who liked the car, which I'm going to say next, and I think they're a great car, an Evoque. I love a Range Rover Evoque, I do. Great car.
Yeah, I mean, for the audience that it's aimed towards, it's a good car, but you're not going to have one over a G63, are you?
No, but great size, does everything. Everyone I've ever had.
No, I agree with that.
A really, for the money, a really good car.
I struggle to say any Jaguar Land Rover product is a great car. I've just been through the fucking mill with them, and I've got so many of them. I just collect them right now. I'm a Defender collector. I have a collection of Defenders.
We have a podcast on a Thursday night, and one of the sections is to find out how many Defenders are working.
I only need 2 Defenders, but I have 3 because one's not going. Then all 3 are not going to work at the same time, and I can't afford not to have 2 on the road. So what do? You just buy a spare, and you know. Yeah, but no, I'm not going anything Jaguar Land Rover. Sorry.
Now, Mark, I'm sure most people know who you are, but to watch your content, more about this, where should they go?
Basically, everything is Mark McCann 64.
On all the channels?
All the channels, TikTok, Instagram, and then YouTube. And we've got a second channel, which Carl kindly comes on most weeks. We do a live podcast every Thursday at 6 p.m, which is good, but also very dangerous when he's sat in the room.
Which is most of the time.
Well, it all depends on my mood and the day I've had. Sometimes
whether you bought a car or not.
Well, no. What happens is it's on at 6 o'clock. So at 6 o'clock, I'm still fully, in the middle of my work day.
You get here at 6:05.
I get here at 6:05.
That's just early, yeah.
But people know that the seat's there, and then all of a sudden he comes, sorry everyone.
And it all depends on who's just pissed me off on the phone on my way from the car upstairs. I'm still halfway through my work day. So the first 15 minutes can be quite colourful.
His rants are fantastic. When he goes off on one, we have one section called rant. So everyone has a rant, one of the sections, and yeah, we have to calm down, Carl.
Yeah.
And what was your reason for setting up the second channel?
To experiment.
Yeah.
To experiment, and I feel like a lot of people don't get this is if anything goes wrong and they turn that channel off, you have nothing left.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a backup sometimes, and it gives us an opportunity to try different things without, risking people's future who I employ in livelihood. And we experiment, we try different things. We try shorter videos, longer videos, lives, just to try and mix it up a bit to, take the risk off. Because, you see so many times people's channels get deleted and all of a sudden they wake up that morning and they have nothing left. So a part of it is a backup.
Yeah.
I mean, Mark, this is your second time on Cars and Money. And we much appreciate you coming on. And,
really
for those watching, there will be more episodes through the time with Mark. He changes his life and his stories and his journey with cars so many times. So no 2 episodes with you are going to be the same. They're all very different. The last one we were just talking about the P1 and cars. Now we've got a Veyron. Who knows what I'm going to sell you next for us to talk about?
And a massive congratulations for a 100k plaque.
Yeah. Well, we haven't got the plaque yet.
No, we're giving it to your son, aren't we?
And we need it because he's now torturing me.
Yeah, I bet he's going to be taking that to school, isn't he?
He'll literally have it in his backpack school day, 100%. He's like, that was the biggest, for him, I think that's the biggest achievement I've ever done, is be involved in a channel that has 100,000 subscribers.
You got to think, Kristen, he's stuck up in there sometimes, isn't he? We go to do a podcast and him and Senna are sat on the settee waiting for daddies to do their job.
Well, I mean, when we were with Andy, we were there 3 hours and he was great.
Oh, he's a good boy. Yeah, he's a good boy.
Yeah,
And I like having him around me. I like him, just to have, he's my shadow, So this is what I used to do with my dad. I used to just be around him and just unintentionally take things in, You don't know you're doing it at 8 years old, but
exactly
you do later on in life.
My summer 6-week holiday was in my dad's car, seeing customers. It's his birthday today, heavenly birthday.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, today.
Oh, happy birthday to you, Dad.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you.